Back to markets today, 9th of March 2020, the day that oil prices are down 30% overnight. The last time we saw such a level was prior to the 1991 Gulf War. What does this mean for us? Sentiment on global equities has suddenly turned negative, and most stocks on a global and local level have closed in the red. The NSE has just closed, and these are the headlines. Safaricom top traded counter, 28.1 million shares traded. The stock has closed at about 7% lower closed compared to its last closing price, settling at 27.5 shillings. We expect this to continue closing lower as global equity sentiment turns negative. KCB was also up there in terms of the top losers, closing at 6.5% lower than its last price. It's now trading at 47 shillings per share. It was the second top traded stock, 4.6 million shares traded. Equity Bank, 1.6 million shares traded. We will keep you updated on what is happening later on in the show. Other than that, we are discussing what happened in the month of February, what is happening in the month of March, in a bourse that is dominated by foreigners. So as long as the stock prices are turning red, should you be buying? Should you not be buying? We're joined by Mr. Martin Mwirigi. He is a senior investment analyst at Standard Investment Bank. Welcome back to the show.
Thank you.
You scared me before we took the break, Martin.
Yeah.
You're telling me Bamburi revenues for the year 2020 could be down 80%.
Earnings.
Earnings.
Full year earnings.
Full year
2019.
2019.
Because that is us doing a best case estimate, okay? So we do think they will actually be down 80%. At least 80%. Like I was saying earlier, I don't see any upside in Bamburi in the near term. The real estate market is really tough at the moment.
But they still have very viable and valuable assets. Or will this Bamburi cement take a similar trajectory to ARM, where you have good assets, but then you're not able to monetize or commercialize these assets?
Precisely. I don't think we'll go the ARM route yet. They sit on, they have very little debt. Actually, I don't think they have any long-term debt at the moment, the balance sheet. So saying that they will go the ARM route,
that's a bit
okay.
Now I was talking about price, because I mean you have sticky shareholders.
Actually, guess what? When you're doing the trade shows with the fund managers,
yes,
every one of them told us whoever had Bamburi is like, we're actually trying to offload, we're not getting some. The only offers, there's nobody bidding.
Actually, from your report, it says that about 17% of the trades were foreign trades.
Yes.
So it's the foreigners who have been selling ahead of the local investors.
Ahead of the local.
So it says there's pent-up supply. So why would you even be looking at it at 55?
Precisely. It will really take a long time for us to see an upside, especially on the fundamentals. I always try to talk about the fundamentals. I said if you're playing a short-term play, fair enough. But from a fundamental perspective, it will really take some time for the stock or the company to get some bullish sentiments at the bourse.
Okay.
Yes. Yeah.
All right. So that's Bamburi Cement. Then we've already discussed the Nation Media Group. The other, Kenya Power, was there at 2.34 shillings, down 16.4% in February, and it also reported earnings of 234 million.
I get a bit depressed.
Yes. And we all pay our bills.
We all pay our bills.
They're very efficient in collection.
Here's the thing. The challenge with Kenya Power, I do believe from where we sit, the challenge with Kenya Power is all about, they have system losses, big system losses. Okay. The another big impediment is government interference. Okay?
Government interference is the key thing.
Is the key thing here. Okay, they want to raise the tariff, but they can't raise the tariff because they have what is it called? The Energy and Petroleum Authority on their neck, telling them you can't raise prices. Okay, to basically make sure that our goods are competitive, which is fantastic. Okay. However, and I think this is about time not only the local one actually needs to understand this. There's a reason why all this capacity being added, and you hear that we have, right now we are north of 2,700 megawatts, and when we started that 5 years ago, we had 1,000 and something. It's all good also good. Yes, however, you have to pay for that capacity.
Okay.
It's idle capacity. And then now from where they sit, it's as if they don't have a say on who gets a PPA, okay? Power purchase agreement.
Okay.
There's a time they went ahead and said, no more power purchase agreements, we are not going to sign any more PPAs. However, when the Energy and Petroleum Regulatory Authority came forward, told them, no, you have no say with regard.
You cannot do this.
Exactly.
So Martin, can this price double, 2.34? Can we see a price level of 4 shillings in the next year?
Nope.
No, forget it.
I don't see it.
You don't see it?
From a fundamental perspective,
no, it's
don't
not
see
happening.
It. However,
yes.
if somebody can play this card, and I saw somebody asking this to one of our investors, it's technically a monopoly, okay? It's a quasi-government institution. Government won't let that institution go down. It will never be like...
Government has not let Mumias and Kenya Airways go down.
Precisely.
But as a shareholder, you're not extracting any value.
You're not extracting any value, but look at what they want to do with KQ. Okay, I've just remembered. I'm supposed to go dark on KQ.
Okay,
so,
let's not discuss that.
No,
but I mean, my argument for this is always this. If you are a shareholder, you don't get any value. If you're a debt holder, if you're the government of Kenya, there's always a leakage of value, or rather, there's value that is apportioned to you. But as a final shareholder, as an ordinary shareholder, I fail to see how that value trickles to you, because the two ways it can trickle to you is either through a dividend
or a capital appreciation.
Exactly.
Yes.
So I really struggle with this particular counter.
And that's why when you ask, do I see a 4 shilling?
Yes.
No, I don't.
Okay.
Okay. But now with regards to the safety, if we can use the word.
Okay, that one is...
At least we won't go like, oh yeah, we've woken up tomorrow morning and it has been put...
No, we can't.
Suspended.
I'm not too sure if you have to start at 2.3 and get 1.3. But
exactly,
that's the jury's out on that.
If you're not in the stock, don't get it.
Okay.
The fundamentals are really shaky.
They're shaky on that one.
Yes,
KCB down 14%. Now it's at about 47 shillings today.
Yes.
And there was foreign participation was about 64% on that one.
And you can see
banks
they really
is your forte. So what's happening? What do we do with banks with this negative sentiment?
This is the time to get into banks.
Okay, what price?
I do believe like today, last week, actually KCB recouped all this. Okay.
Yes.
Because it did 11%, north of 11%.
Wow, in 1 week.
In 1 week.
Okay.
Okay. So it bounced back actually due to locals. If you see, KCB is releasing earnings in.
On Thursday, on the 12th.
On the 12th.
What are you expecting for the profit after tax in terms of growth?
Single-digit growth.
Single-digit.
Cost of risk will hit them.
Okay.
Cost of risk will hit them. Actually, I'll even put it, single-digit growth.
Single-digit growth.
At best, yeah.
Anything exceptional on the dividend payout?
Nothing.
So
Still
nothing.
DPS, it will be 250.
250.
Like same as last year, because they still need to make sure they have sufficient capital buffers. They are going regional. I'm pretty sure they're going to enter. And they still need the capital.
Can they do, was there any instance of maybe a bonus share, something, just to whet the appetite of investors? Okay, not investors, the government of Kenya.
But now, somebody will go ahead and tell me, like one of the traders has this idea, the government needs money.
Yes,
what if they go ahead?
That's what I always say.
But here's the thing, you need money, but at the same time, you want to encourage to have a balance sheet that is strong enough, especially
he
now.
He can raise deposits, can't he?
No. But you can't raise deposit if you don't have the capital.
Okay, fair enough.
Okay?
But he has some good capital buffers.
Exactly. The buffers, at least for here's the thing. No.
Yes.
For getting it, but I think it's a buy.
Okay.
In terms of a buy, it is a long-term buy. It's solid.
It's solid.
It is solid.
Okay.
I do think NBK, they're doing a great job with NBK. They started with appointing Paul Russo into that team. That was fantastic. And I do believe they're going well with their recoveries. And it's a liability. It was a purely liability move, and it made sense.
It made sense. Okay, so look out for that. So KCB and what about Equity Bank? Are there some buy opportunities outside of?
Yes.
Okay.
There are.
What price levels? Because today we've seen KCB close at 47.
47. I think even tomorrow, if these sentiments proceed, of course,
45?
foreigners, 45.
Can it go back to 37?
No, it can't. Okay. That would be a stretch.
So 44 is a good entry point.
Exactly. Like when it hit 44, I was like, oh my God, this is a very good entry point.
This is a good entry point.
And then I'm happy the locals took advantage. But now, of course, the profit has been wiped clean.
Yes.
Especially from last week.
Okay.
So I do think the volatility will be there, but it's a long-term play, and it will it won't disappoint for the time being.
All right,
yes.
fair enough. Then I think the second last one here we're seeing is Centum. It was down 13% for the month to close at 24.60 in the month of February. Anything there?
Centum, I took time to analyze Centum simply because I do believe a lot of investors don't understand Centum Investment Company. It's a maze.
Okay.
And
should we buy it after you've understood
No.
it? Okay.
no,
Don't buy it.
they're basically a real estate company currently. They've sold off all their legacy assets, with the last ones being the beverages, okay? They sold Gen Africa the year prior to that. So, and Platinum, basically the only legacy asset they have in their balance sheet that they can sell from what we saw was only Suzu East Africa, which they own a minority shareholding, okay? Which they carry at around 2.3 billion cash. That's it. Aside from that, all the money is tied up in real estate.
Okay.
And development, which
development
already.
Yes, we did see
got
the
it
pronunciation,
bad.
especially on one of their power projects.
Akira.
Yes.
So the Akira project, the thing with Akira is that they already pumped in around 1.2 from what they got from the bond. Right now, I think they carry it in their books 1.8 billion, if I'm not wrong, but they carry it at cost. The previous two wells have dug there, zilch.
They haven't gotten
nothing.
anything, and they finally reached out to Kengen for
exactly,
assistance.
for technical
So
assistance.
that's
But
literally.
they still need money. As in, what more of the story
So
was
should
sent
they even
out.
be carrying that asset at 1.2, or should it be really at zero because there's no asset there?
Exactly. And I think
Yes.
I pushed the envelope. I said in my note that day when they said that they're going to Akira, I pushed the envelope and said, I think these people have gone ahead, have approached Kengen here for assistance, because it is way much cheaper to go ahead and get assistance, and you get new line of funding, and you dig
Than
in
to
new
write
wells,
it off.
then to write it off.
Okay.
Exactly, that would be like, whoa.
Okay, so
you
what
write off
you're
Amu,
saying,
you write
yes.
off Amu, a billion, 1.2,
Yes.
and then now Akira as well.
Wow.
And honestly, their cash sources are drying up.
Okay, so
Yes.
cash is drying out,
Cash
meaning
is
if you're a
drying out.
shareholder, the likelihood of getting a dividend payout is thinning by the day.
It is thinning by the day.
And their year end ends in March. In
March
March,
30,
so they
March
announced it
31st.
2 or 3 months.
Yes.
Okay, fantastic.
June, first second week of
First
June.
and second week of June.
Yeah,
So we are coming to the end of this show, and that has been a good review of the month of February. Now the month of March, two things: coronavirus, now the price of oil. What are you telling investors to do for the next 2 or 3 weeks?
I'll also throw in something else, bank earnings.
Yes,
bank
bank
equals,
earnings,
exactly.
there,
Bank earnings
yes.
equals our excitement period.
Okay.
With the price dips, dividend yields will be better. So I think investors.
So, okay.
Keep-
Top two banks.
Top two banks, KCB Equity Bank.
KCB Equity Bank,
Yes.
price levels 44?
45, 46 is still good. entry
45,
point.
46.
Still good
Hold
entry
it, hold
points.
it for about a year.
Yeah, hold it for around a year. They have solid business model, because right now, in terms of, I think it's all about business models. And one thing we'll also notice about bank stocks, some bank stock like your Standard Chartered, is that we expect a payout ratio to increase, okay? Simply because the environment is not that conducive to increase your risk-weighted assets. So what are you doing with all that excess capital?
Okay.
Give it out to
Wow.
shareholders.
I think we should talk to some of the companies that are in and tell them, pay me their dividend.
Yeah,
That's
exactly.
an idea.
Yeah.
Okay, so apart from the banks, anything else that we need to consider for the month of March?
Safaricom. If
Safaricom.
Safaricom touches your 27, 26,
Yes.
get it.
So 27 and a half you should be putting in an order tomorrow morning.
27, no. I'll wait it out to see how tomorrow
How
plays.
tomorrow goes.
How
Okay.
tomorrow goes, and then
Okay.
from there now Wednesday. I observe the
We
market.
observe the market.
Exactly. yeah.
Okay. All right. Thank you so much for this report. Certainly well done to you at the team at Standard Investment Bank. Thank you once again for joining us. The key takeout for us today: oil prices are down 30% overnight basis as Russia fights it out with the OPEC for dominance in the oil market. Last time we saw such a dip was before the Gulf War in 1991. This is certainly negative for global equities. The sentiment is now flight to safety, with most people trying to park their money in gold or in precious metals. What does this mean for you as an investor? There's an opportunity for alternative assets. There's an arbitrage opportunity also in certain currency pairs which you could be looking out for out there. And there's some products that are out there, such as the Standard Investment Bank Mansa X product, or there are opportunities for you to get dividend yielding stocks on the NSC. Some of the names you've heard: Safaricom at below 27 shillings, KCB and Equity at the 44 shilling mark or slightly below that. This could be opportunities to look out for. Question for you: are you going to be buying tomorrow when the market opens, or are you going to be looking for alternative assets to put your money into? We would like to hear your answers. That is Metropole TV on Twitter, on Bithemwema on Twitter. Thank you for joining us this afternoon, and see you at the same time again tomorrow. Good afternoon.